track.
Hands on the plow, Yiqwaba shy, coming back, man in the cloud. He is gully people on the four corner. Must have sinned, but the dead got to pay first. We got a warning from the Father made long time ago. Being marked by the nations everywhere we go. Nothing left but a promise from the Father and the Son. Eat the breadcrumbs, like we dogs, but we raw with a broken soul in the spirit. Father, heal it. Man, I favor hope over every adversary. I gotta wait, even though it seem a long tarry. My mind tired, but I'm still begging, Father, help me. Now where my mama, where my daddy, I feel lost in the sea of wilderness. Why I'm the black sheep. I don't want to boast of me, cause I ain't trying to be conceited. Pray for clarity of mind, because the devil want me heated. Want me heated. I name my heritage. I land, sons.
More music gonna be playing, and I'll get with you in a few minutes, Mashpaka.
I reckon that the suffering of this present time is not worthy to be compared with the glory shall be revealed in us. For the earnest expectation of the creature waiting for the manifestation of the sons of Allahayim. For the creature was made subject to vanity, not willingly, but by reason of him who subjected into the same hope. Go ahead up, pack your bag, I'm waiting on Messiah. No matter where we be, the devil's still a liar. Treachery is in him out, he lie because he open mouth. Now who can make the devil change? Who can make him be a rage? I say this to the holy people, many call, but few be chosen. Also to the God we young, this is not a hocus pocus shocus. So I out of circus, call it till he come my blood wash in the most high sun. Only way got many mountains in our way. Jordan River bound across it, ain't a joy to be hit real low and pay the price. That's why I love her with my life and I be that sacrifice. It ain't another place to go, so you gon' catch me holding on, swing down, sweet chariot and let a brother ride. Told the chief of the sinners, yeah, you right here by his side. Accuser got a problem, so they come to criticize it. Put a plate of butter biscuit, you can watch him drunk and drive. Hop and bob, say I'm bold, shuck and jive. Watch him close, cause every time they say you out down the river, a buzzer coming, something die. You better change, cause time ain't running out quickly. No time ain't on your side, and everybody die. Playing with people's mind, you gotta give a count. So fuck don't care about nobody, just to bank account. The rubber zero dollar, them one they left that out. I got trauma from my ancestors passed down. They say my English bro, should I keep my head down? I wanna go home, so I gotta vote. I pray Messiah restoration, cause somebody tryna dream of hope. Tap shoes untied, sound bold, shuck a job. Watch I bet he say you out. Hands on the noose, man, slicker than a clear. Quickest tones in the west, better watch your damn play fight. All the just that beat struck, the less the be productive. You be standing in the back of line, they look for post-traumatic stress and trauma, man. And look, it ain't no pill for the way I feel. Wild pressure hurt. If we try, is it getting worse? If I make a million, I'll be still mourning for my people. Y'all want it equal, but Yiqwaba shy gon' make a leader. Used to didn't understand certain words in the scroll. You can't make it over yonder if the righteous never see the rap of the Most High coming in the cloud with the voice of the archangel with a great shout. Many people born to bills, but without the chain playing around. What I feel it like I did bet you won't. By so many that it's hurting while you touch. Ain't nobody on the planet that's immune from the rap. Hanaka, Shalanaga, stop a shot, aha, kick a king, say Yasha Allah. I'm a Hebrew Israelite, I put some emphasis on the top. If they say that's not a Bible, say I bar Yasha Allah. We forgot our bloodline and our tribe, Yasha Allah, Shachach Nawa, forgot.
All we wanna do is be free. All we wanna do is be free. All we wanna do is be free. But why these people keep on bothering me? All we wanna do is be free. All we wanna do is be free. All we wanna do is be free. All we wanna do is be free.
My friend used to pay $163 a month for car insurance. Now, he only pays $38.
Greater is he that is within me. Than he that is in this world. Man don't work, man don't eat. But your hard way, watch over us awake to sleep. But so many leaders don't care if they did. Ask them where you from, will they tell you that you black and kid? On the earth, mad in everybody, nation's not down with a blow. With no antibodies, we the nation discontinue. What's our nationality? Only one match is your Harvard that inside the Bible. I used to rep for reparations, now I'm waiting on your highway. Tribulation ain't easy, bruh, make you wanna holler. Can I say I lost? Cause when I was rich, I feel like a Lilo over Stitch, alienated from my heritage. I pray to y'all my soul to keep. And if I should die before I wake, I pray to y'all my soul to take. My soul to take. Now I let me down to sleep. I pray to y'all my soul to keep. And if I should die before I wake, I pray to y'all my soul to take. My soul to take. Now let me tell you something. What's up with Edomite? No sovereign land, the hawks still claim it all, y'all. Houston, we have a problem, and only y'all can solve it. From all part to Africa, who changed the name? Who said we like the bang before we even born? Who made a crime bill just to make us on? Hey, Father, have mercy. Hey, Father, have grace. Our people fell down, and we perpetuate. Hurricane Mitch, 1998. They got nothing on the slave trade, I ain't lying. And we ain't about to see kingdom of freedom again until we fall on our knees asking, forgive my sin. Y'all let me down to sleep. I pray to y'all my soul to keep. And if I should die before I wake, I pray to y'all my soul to take. My soul to take. Now I let me down to sleep. I pray to y'all my soul to keep. And if I should die before I wake, I pray to y'all my soul to take. My soul to take. No matter how I feel, no matter how you feel, never give up on your Yahweh. Always keep your head up and be strong. Him alone, he bought us, delivered us out of Egypt, redeemed us with his blood. Trust in Yahweh to the end. Let me preach on this and let you know that Yahweh got your back. Come hell or high water. Come hell or high water. Barakatah Yahweh Shai. Revelation chapter 1. His head and his ears were white like wool, as white as snow. And his eyes were as a flame of fire. And his feet like unto fine brass, as if they burned in a furnace. And his voice is the sound of many waters. Got it. Now we're doing things that don't make sense. It's like we power down begging for the pit. I guess it's cause so many people get it lit up. Set the fence, jail time is we set up. If you wanna be successful, do you shut up or let up? Or give up on the family cause we get it wet up? Being pacified by delusion, with confusion as a resolution. Can you stop being prostituted by the peace? Start loving one another, knowing we the least. He said my sheep hear my voice and they follow me. Check out the other, it's a fox in the island. Hit the blind, lead the blind, they'll both fall in the ditch. But if the people who are called by the name of the Most High turn from their wicked ways, he can take away a switch. Better than the crest cleanse, he can take away the stain in the whole stitch. And wash your mind from the lies that disguise in the doctrine of Willie Lynch. The piece the brother gets a sister by the light in the dark skin coat. Printed us a Negro slave Bible. Is your name Toby or Kente? Are we only born to be chattel slave?
witness on your gun right away.
I pray you high, you make me bold. It's an octave speaking loud as a cannon to the walls of Babylon fall down. I pray you high, you make me bold. It's an octave speaking loud as a cannon to the walls of Babylon fall down. I pray you high, you make me bold. It's an octave speaking loud as a cannon to the walls of Babylon fall down. I pray you high, you make me bold. I pray you high, you make me bold. It's an octave speaking loud as a cannon to the walls of Babylon fall down. I pray you high, you make me bold. It's an octave speaking loud as a cannon to the walls of Babylon fall down. I pray you high, you make me bold. It's an octave speaking loud as a cannon to the walls of Babylon fall down. I pray you high, you make me bold. Yeah, they try to drop me from my face, throw me in that ward, but guess who get the praise? I how you got my back, and I ain't scared of none. They tryna knock me out, boy, I never run. I'm running for my king, and you can't stop it, man. Becoming real strong, that you can't ignore. This spirit battle, so put your flesh down. I'ma ride out on the devil head. I ain't never scared. Watch me square up. Negro, we the people of the Bible. We don't mess around and read them scrolls. We the kingdom of peace, let's go. Yiqwaba got a back, and we the strongest one. With God inside of us, we already won. Greater we see this within us, the heat that's in the world, and ain't no weapon formed against us ever gonna prosper. Your eyes ain't seen, or your ears have heard the things that y'all have prepared for us children. They ain't up in the time, man, it's already written in the old covenant and the bit. How to shine, man. And we wait for the kingdom to come down for us to die in the sky. In the meantime, gotta keep the commandment. If we say we ain't seeing, we deceive ourselves, and the truth ain't in us, y'all sing. Adults, not children. All these movements against you, family should be more important. And yeah, for sure, I agree with you. Black lives do matter, but the lives don't. We hate the word now. It's too much going on for us to be sitting here trying to put each other down. Double tone, talk. We say black lives matter, then we say LGBT matter more. Everybody claim they got their own truth, so the whole truth they ignore. For the poor to be ignored and the people's blood to be spilled in the streets. No justice, ain't no peace. We scream and still seem defeat. No time to get your own, just appease the one that did the deed. I'm not just here to make you think, I'm here to make you hold your brother and sister. And tell them never give up, hold your head up, be strong until the end. No trouble don't last always, and the sun gon' shine again.
It's nothing like a little confidence boost to help ease you back into the dating scene. It also includes having a smile you
I'm trying to tell you to run hard as you can. Never give up. Never quit. Keep going. Keep going.
Dash, 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 dash. I get where I'm from Polk County, Florida. Home village car shows, can't let like the sport. We ain't have a lot of money, so we stayed real close to the cemetery, man. Keep the mosquitoes out the door. Mississippi selling flip, boy, they were playing dip, playing tackle football with my homeboy. Them. Now everybody wanna fight that we forget how to smile. Too many sell lots in this world, I'm like, wow. Do you wanna be smart or you wanna be hard? It's the devil in the hood, just tearing it apart. Funeral home, making more, cause some hearts that got cold. Come together, my people, yeah, on the 4-4. Go ahead, hit the gas, put the pedal to the floor. I help you pull your head, everybody got a pad. If a thunderstorm come, man, stay fast still. If you wanna give up, man, hold your head up and dash, 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 dash.
All right, Mashpaka, I'm here now. We're just sending out notifications to the family so that they can all be aware that I'm live. I seen on one brother page where YouTube where they wouldn't allow him to select all so people can be aware when he come on. I ain't trying to get the words perfect, but I want to read something to y'all. So hold on. Got something to read for you. Here we go. Now I don't know if y'all remember this right here in school. It was a story in school they called the Ugly Duckling. I don't know if nobody else did anything with this, but hey, I'm just gonna go ahead and read this, and I want to show y'all. I'm gonna read this story to you, all right? And there's a moral behind what I'm finna do, so it's gonna fit. All right, this story right here is a retold story by Sue Arango. They go to illustration right there, beginner too. So if you got children that's at home or whatever, on this story right here, they can hear this part. And with the other part, with the history part, I'm just letting you know I'm going into history. So here we go. The Ugly Duckling. It's a summer. A duck sits on her eggs. She sits and she waits. She waits and waits. At last the egg opened. At last, says the duck, my little duckling. My little duckling. The egg is strange. But one egg does not open. Says her friend. That egg is strange. Leave it. I can't leave it. Leave my egg? Says Mother Duck. No, I can't leave it. She sits down again and she waits. What an ugly duckling. At last the egg opens. Oh, says Mother Duck to her friend. You're right. He is strange. He is strange. What an ugly duckling. Come on, duckling. Come on, ducklings. But the ugly duckling can swim. He can swim very well. And Mother Duck is happy. Come on, ducklings, she says. Let's go to the farm. I want all my friends to see you. Hello, everyone, she calls. Look at my little duckling. Look at my little ducklings. Look at the ducks. Do y'all see? I'm going to do it like they did us at school. He's ugly. This is my family, says Mother Duck. Very nice, says the ducks. But that duckling is very big. He's ugly. He's an ugly duckling. And look at him, he bit him, 'cause he picking on him. He is strange, they say. He is an ugly duckling. One of the ducks pecks him. Every day the foreign girl comes. Every day she kicks him. Go away, you ugly duckling, she says. So one day the ugly duckling runs away. He runs away from the farm. Go. Yes, go, says his brothers and sisters. You are strange. You are ugly. You're strange. It's colder now. The ugly duckling is bigger. One day, 2 geese see him. You are strange, they say. Do you want to fly with us? You are very ugly, they say. but you are interesting. Do you want to fly with us? But suddenly there is a bang, 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 and the geese are dead. Bang, bang. There are some men with guns and dogs. The ugly duckling is afraid. A big dog comes. He sees the ugly duckling. He looks at him. He doesn't want to eat me. Then the dog swims away. I am ugly, says the ugly duckling, so he doesn't want to eat me. The ugly duckling runs away. He comes to an old hut and he goes in. What's this? In the hut there's a woman, a cat, and a hen. The woman is old and she can't see. What's this? She says. A duck. Ah, you could give me some eggs. Where are your eggs? I haven't got any. Come on, says the cat. Where's your eggs? I haven't got any, says the ugly duckling. Then go, says the hen. The ugly duckling goes away. It's winter now, and it's very cold. One evening, the ugly duckling sees something wonderful and strange. She swims. 3 big, beautiful swans. Take me with you. Oh, he cries, what beautiful birds, big, beautiful, and free. He calls to them, who are you? Take me with you. But they do not hear him. It is winter now. It is cold. There is ice and the water, so the ugly duckling can't swim. Poor bird. A man sees him. He breaks the ice with his shoe. Poor bird, he says, come home with me. The man's children want to play. Come here, they say, but the ugly duckling runs away. He falls into the milk. The children laugh. Come here, they say. Then he falls into the butter. Oh dear, what a mess. Then he falls into the flour. Get out, cries the man's wife. Get out of my house. The ugly duckling runs. Suddenly he starts to fly. The doors open. He flies up into the sky. I can't fly. He can fly. He can fly. I can fly, says the ugly duckling. Now the sun comes out. It's spring. Then he sees a garden with a river. What a beautiful garden, he says, and he flies down. He sees something. He sees the swans. He sees 3 swans. Oh, they are beautiful, he says. I must speak to them. But he is afraid. He looks down at the water and he sees his face. He is not an ugly duckling anymore. He is a beautiful swan too. It's true, it's true. He's not an ugly duck. He's not a duck. He's a swan. He's a swan too. Look at the new swan. Some children run down to the river. Look, mother, they say, a new swan. Look, oh, look at this new swan. Yes, she says, it's a beautiful. He is beautiful. Shalom, Sister Naomi. And there you go. Who is it? Who are they? And then you give your children the questionnaires so they can answer the question, just like we did when we was in school. Y'all remember them days? All right, so let me exit out of this tab right here for you, Mashpaka. Now I'm going to talk to you for a little bit. A lot of us know this, but I'm not saying this for pride's sake. All right? They made the duck a swan, but we know who that story represents, Mashpaka. We know why those stories was written. All right, and just like when you look inside of those books, when you was in school in kindergarten and maybe in first grade, they gave us these books because of the integration or whatever, so that our mothers and our fathers, when they was integrating them inside of the school, to let them know, to let all the children know that, hey, these are children just like you, whatever. But that's what they was doing. They was trying to integrate us inside of a school. And I want to say this to you, Mashpaka. That's what happened to us as a people when we was brought over here. They did not treat us nice. They vacated us out of premises. Now I'm finna talk back Gullah. They vacated us out of premise, out of places. They vacated us out of banks. Many of them still do. And they turn around and say that we making an excuse. But we know what's really going on, Mashpaka. Now I'm finna share with you this history of Portugal and Spain again. And I want you to see that because we was not them and they was not us, they was willing to do the things that they did to us. And I'm gonna tell you, on the IQ test, nobody back then was retarded. They knew exactly what they was doing. We gonna do an IQ test, and we know some people pretend like they got dementia until it's time for our people to get some help and assistance. Some people pretend like they done lost the sense of understanding English when it's time for you to get some aid and assistance. I'm telling you, they're not slow, they're not stupid. They want to avoid it, because if they don't avoid it, that means that they have to confess what they did. And for people that don't care about how they treat you, it's odd, it's very strange, but it gives you an understanding to know about the person's heart. They are careless, they don't care. And I'm telling you, the tribes that sold us into slavery, they knew who we were. Now I'm finna click on this right here. We're going back over this again. All right, now this is slavery in Portugal. And I'm finna go over this. All right, let me see if I can fix this back how I had it. All right. Oh, Sister Naomi, if you was there yesterday, I could have added you as a moderator, but I was informed by my wife told me that I'm gonna put her over that. I was gonna put my wife over the moderation thing, and so she's gonna be taking control over that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna let her. She gonna sit down one day, y'all willing, go live or whatever, and however she get in contact with y'all. And I know Sister Malaka, you've been trying to get in contact with Valentina, but she's been very busy lately. But one day I pray that she would sit down with y'all and the things that y'all want to do, we'll come together on that note. But I'm gonna let her, she's in control of that part right there, Mashpaka. And it was a very noble and honorable thing, sisters, that y'all wanted to go through my wife before y'all start doing business and work. And that is a very noble thing. I just want to let y'all know that. But I'm gonna let her take over that part right there, and then we'll go from there. And I'm trying to figure out how I'm finna unlock this. Hold on. So let me move this off of the screen. All right, and I'm gonna have to reshare that because I did something to it that was strange. And I have documents that I want to share with y'all, and if you look inside of the description, you will see a lot of the documents that I want to share with you. So let me go ahead and pull that back up, all right? I got a lot of files and stuff here. I know I'm gonna have to. So here it go. All right, we back now. There we go. There we go. You widen that out. How's that? That's cool. Let me see. Okay, she here. She always here. She like to sit back and watch, but she's here. Yeah, she's here. But I tell her what you said, okay, sister? Y'all give me the strength. I tell her what you said. All right, so let me go ahead and start reading. Now, we're gonna go deeper into this history. I'm finna just be a lot of times I'm finna just read on this stuff right here and get this on out the way. And then I'm gonna go ahead and get this out of the Bible. All right, so let me go ahead and read this. Slavery in Portugal. Slavery in Portugal existed, and now if I see something that they're trying to change up a history or whatever, or something that I need to point out, then that's when I speak. Excuse me. Slavery in Portugal. Slavery in Portugal existed since before the country's formation. During the pre-independence period, inhabitants of the current Portuguese territory were often enslaved and enslaved others. When they say they was enslaved, they call that indentured servitude. All right, indentured servitude is not chattel slavery. That's why they still remember who they was, because they was not done in like us. All right, but anyway, let's go ahead and continue. After independence, during the existence of the Kingdom of Portugal, the country played a leading role. Let me move my picture. There we go. The country played a leading role in the other parts of the world to the American continent. All right, so you see right here, Atlantic slave trade, and that was a war against us, which involved the mass trade and transportation of slaves from Africa to other parts of the world. Now they call the continent Africa, but we know that there's 50 something countries, and Africa is a continent, and that name has changed multitudes of times by whatever colonizer came down there. They may call it this, another one may call it that, another one may call it this, but all in all, the country played a leading role in the Atlantic slave trade war, which involved the mass trade and transportation of slaves from Africa and other parts of the world to the American continent. They renamed that America. The imports of slaves was banned in Europe and European Portugal in 1761 by the Marquess de Pombal. However, slavery within the African Portuguese colonies was only abolished in 1869. So they just kept it going, just like they do now today with convict and all that, whatever you see how they do. The Eighth Atlantic Slave Trade War began in 1444. In 1444. Remember, they are connected to the transatlantic slave trade. The Eighth Atlantic Slave Trade War began in 1444. That part of the war began in 1444. But before the war, there are other things that occurred. But let us go on and read. When Portuguese traders brought the first large number of slaves from Africa, back then they called it Ophir, to Europe in 1526. In 1526, when Portuguese traders brought the first large number of slaves from Ophir to Europe in 1526, Portuguese mariners carried the first shipload of African slaves. They called them African. Just like they changed their names. African slaves to Brazil and the Americas. Notice they call a continent full of different countries Africa, and they called the people that they took out of there Africans. So let's go. Of African slaves to Brazil and the Americas, establishing the Eighth Atlantic slave trade. Now, if we just stop right there, many people will be confounded to where we're looking for who we are as a people. We're trying to find our land of inheritance. We're trying to find our identity, which will match the land of our inheritance. But people have changed names of maps. So we have to follow the names of people, follow the languages of the people that spoke it, or we not going to understand what was being spoken. So you have to have interpreters, and you have to bring these things out where the family can understand. It doesn't mean that we are the smartest, or what? How can I say this? It doesn't mean that we are geniuses in all these different languages. Somebody may mock and say that's what we trying to do, but I desire to be a genius in every language so that I will be able to properly read all of the information. Just like when you learn English, to properly read and discern the information so I can get the information that I need. But let us go on. History, ancient era, and you got to take your time. We're learning just like when we was in school. We had to learn our ABCs. The teacher took their time, and the students that didn't want to learn, I guess they put them in timeout or whatever they did. But however means on how they got the children to obey and read. So Yahweh want us to read. He want us to learn. And the way we got to learn language. We got to learn languages. And so we can understand what was really being conveyed, because we see that there are people full of trickery in this world, and we need to take it upon ourselves to go in and study to understand what is being said. Okay, ancient era. Slavery was a major economic and social institution in Europe during the classical era, and a great deal is known about the ancient Greeks and Romans in relation to the topic. Rome added Portugal to its empire. See this? Rome added Portugal to its empire. 2nd century BC. That means before what they say Christ. The later a province of Lusitania, Now, if you got a pen and paper, I want you to write down these key frames right here. Rome added Portugal to its empire. 2nd century BC. And if you got a pen and paper, or you could write it in your phone in your notes, excuse me. The later, a province of Lusitania at the time. Write that word down, Lusitania at the time. And the name of the further kingdom was derived from Portugal, a Roman and post-Roman settlement situated at the mouth of the Douro River. The details of slavery in ancient Rome, slavery in Roman Portugal are not well known. However, there were several forms of slavery, including enslaved minors and domestic servants. Let's make sure we're on the right one. There we go. Visigoth and the Seobi kingdoms. The Visigoth and the Seobi Germanic tribes of the 5th century AD, Ashkenazi tribes. That's what German means. And I'll show you in the Bible, y'all winner. Germanic tribes of the 5th century AD seized control of the Iberian Peninsula as the Roman Empire fell. So these people, after the Roman Empire fell, Ashkenazim tribes of the 5th century AD, after Christ, after death, after Messiah died and rose up, that's how they label it, BC, AD. BC is before Christ, AD is after Christ, after he died, all right, and rose from the tomb. Of the 5th century AD. So, the Ashkenazim, the Visigoths, took over after Rome had fell. So after the Iron Empire, the first ones to take over were Ashkenazim of the 5th century AD, seized control of the Iberian Peninsula. Now, they seized control of the Iberian Peninsula as the Roman Empire fell. At the time, Portugal did not exist as a separate kingdom. At the time, Portugal did not exist as a separate kingdom. Remember, they are a kingdom in Rome. They are Romans, but was primarily a part of the Visigoth Iberian kingdom. But was primarily a part of the Visigoth Iberian kingdom. So right here we see a connection of the Germans, the Ashkenazim, the Roman Empire, and the Portuguese, the Visigoths. The Visigoth ruling class lived apart. The Visigoth ruling class lived apart and heavily taxed the native population. In the Iberian Peninsula. However, during this period, a gradual transition to feudalism and serfdom was occurring throughout Europe. Now, look here. Islamic Iberia. Excuse me. And the elder gave a great point today. And I'm going to share his page under this one so that y'all can look at some of the stuff he have. The elder said, when Dawad had that baby with that woman, how can he expect to hide the baby from this African man, this Hittite, if the baby came out looking like the daddy, like a mixed race baby? Because a Hittite is a Hamite. Something to think about. After the Umayyad conquest of Hispanic, do you have any Hispanic origins, Negroes? In the 8th century, so I think it's 5 AD, 8 AD. In the 8th century, in which Moors, which means blacks, from North Africa crossed the Strait Gibraltar. So you have blacks, Negroes from North Africa crossed the Strait of Gibraltar and defeated the Visigoth rulers of Iberia. So the Negroes could fight back then. The Negroes from North Africa crossed the Strait Gibraltar and defeated the Visigoth rulers in Iberia. They defeated the ruling class. Remember, the Visigoth Iberian kingdom, the Visigoth ruling class lived apart and heavily taxed the native population. So these Negroes came and they helped the natives like they always have it in their heart to help everybody else. They came, the Negroes from North Africa, this is a war that they did, crossed the Strait of the Gibraltar to help the natives over there in Portugal and defeated the Visigoth rulers of Iberia, the territory of both modern-day Portugal and Spain. So, Portugal and Spain. What language is Spain? Spanish. What language is the Portugal? It is a very similar language. Many is very, very similar. So those Portuguese and Spanish, the original ones, are kinsmen. Not the ruling class that came over and took it over. But the Portugal and Spain, remember the Negroes came to Portugal and Spain and assisted and helped them and fought and won. Fell under Islamic control. Now they say it fell under Islamic control. So, Negroes of North Africa crossed and they called what they believe Islam. They called them Muslims because they did not want to receive Christianity. That's why they called them Muslims. The pattern of slavery. Now, if they didn't call them Muslims because of that, then why did they hide the information? But anyway, or put it right in front of our face and we couldn't even see it. The pattern of slavery and serfdom and the Iberian Peninsula differs from the rest of Western Europe due to the Islamic conquest. Now listen here. They said it was due to a Islamic conquest. No, it was due to Negroes of North Africa going over there and defeating those Visigoths who was oppressing the native Portuguese and Spanish people in that area. So Negroes came and liberated them, and those who took and wrote down the information said that it was a Islamic conquest, but it was really people trying to do unto their neighbor as they would want their neighbor to do unto them. Let's go on and read. They established Negro kingdoms in Iberia, including the area that is, because listen, in Portuguese, the people were called Negroes because in their language, black means black, Negro. And the person that overcame you named you Moors, all right? But the people that you assisted and helped, if they called you anything, what did they call you? Did they call you Negroes? Or is we understanding this by us saying, okay, we translated Negro because Moor means black? No, they called you Moors. They called you Negroes. They called you blacks. But what did the Portuguese call these people? See, you got to remember that they were the downtrodden class. The people, you know how they hide the dark-skinned Aboriginal Portuguese and Spanish people over there? And you try to look for them and you can't hardly find them, and the only one speaking up is the ruling class? Kingdoms in Iberia, including the area that is occupied by modern Portugal, and established black kingdoms in Iberia, Negro kingdoms in Iberia. Shalom, Sister Positive Reinforcement. Welcome to the chat. Including the area that is occupied by modern Portugal in comparison to the North Classical style slavery continued for a longer period of time in Southern Europe. Europe and trade between Christian Europe across the Mediterranean with Islamic, what do they call our people? Islamic North Africa meant that Slavic and Christian Iberian enslaved people appeared in Italy, Spain, South France, and Portugal in the 8th century. The Islamic conquest in Portugal and Spain changed this pattern. So, wait a minute, let me back myself up. So, listen at this. These Moors defeated the Visigoths. So, either they was Ishmaelites, Moabite, or Israelites. There's only 3 other classifications you could give these people. Because the Negroes, so we're going to see what happened to them, and we're going to follow the Bible prophecy, and let's see who these people is. Europe and traded between Christian Europe, crossed the Mediterranean with Islamic North Africa, meant that the Slavic and Christian Iberian enslaved people appeared in Italy. meant that the Slavic and Christian Iberian enslaved people appeared in Italy, that is Rome, Spain, southern France, and Portugal in the 8th century. Now that's 8 AD. Century. The Islamic conquest in Portugal and Spain changed this pattern. Now, remember, they was oppressing the people in Portugal and Spain. The Negroes, the Moors, came and helped them, defeated the oppressing class. Now look at how they writing this. Trade ties between the Negro kingdoms and the North African Negro state led to a greater flow of trade within those geographical areas. Oh, wait a minute now. So now they saying trade ties between the Moorish kingdoms and the North African Moorish state led to a greater flow trade within those geographical areas. Now, look at this. Ties between the Moorish kingdoms and the North African Moorish state led to a greater flow of trade within the geographical areas. So now they took over the area. In addition, the Moors, the Negroes, engaged sections of Spaniards and Portuguese Christians in slave labor. What they mean is that they put them to work. The Moors used ethnic European slaves. Look at this. The Moors, the Negroes used ethnic European slaves who was oppressing the Portuguese and the Spaniards before the Negroes came and helped them. So the European slaves who the Moors made to rebuild what they destroyed, the Moors used ethnic European slaves of the Iberian population were slave Europeans, were people who were reaping what they sowed. Less than 1% of Iberian were Moors. Less than 1% of Iberia were Moors, and more than 99% were native Iberian. Periodic Arab and Moorish. So there's a difference between the Arab and the Moor. So 1% of Iberia were Negroes, and more than 99% were native Iberians. Periodic. So look at this. I'm going to read over this again. The Moors used ethnic European slaves. 1 out of 12 of Iberian population were slave European, were Europeans reaping what they sowed. Less than 1% of Iberia were Moors, Negroes, and more than 99% were native Iberians. Periodic Arab and Moorish raiding expeditions was sent from Islamic Iberia to ravage the remaining Christian Iberian kingdoms, bringing back the stolen goods and slaves. In a raid against Lisbon in 1189, for example, the Almohad Caliph Yaqub al-Mansur held 3,000 women and children as captives, while his governor of Cordoba, in a subsequent attack upon Silves. Now, let's pause it right here. And I'm going to keep reading, but I'm going to pause it right here. Now, when they was enslaving Negroes, were Negroes enslaving people and raping them? Or was it another group enslaving and raping and sending to ships? So keep that in mind. Held 3,000 Christian slaves in 1191. In addition, the Christian, which can also mean niggas, the Christian Iberians who lived within Arab and Moorish ruled territory were subject to specific laws and taxes for state protection. Now we getting inside of the trickery. Now let me ask you a question. When we read this, I want you to pay close attention to the confusion. Pay very close attention. Remember, Christian Iberians who lived within Arab and Moorish ruled territories were subject to specific laws and taxes for state protection. Within Arab and Moorish ruled territories were subject to specific laws and taxes for state protection. Muslim Moors, he who submit blacks, who converted to Christianity, known as Moriscos, were enslaved by the Portuguese during the Reconquista. Were enslaved by the Portuguese during the Reconquista. 9.3% of slaves in southern Portugal were Negroes. Muslims, Moors, who converted to Christianity, Moriscos, they still submitted to Allah. They received a Messiah who is Ban al-Hayyam. So these people who submitted to al-Hayyam, Bahasham, Yahawashai, who were converted to Christianity, are still called Moriscos, who were enslaved by Portuguese during the Reconquista. 9.3% of slaves, 9.3% of slaves in southern Portugal were Moors. Now, why did they say 99.something% in there was whites, Europeans, and then they turn around and say they were Moors? Think about it, Mashbaka. Fork tone. And many Moors were enslaved in the 16th century. 1611. It has been documented that other slaves were treated better than Moriscos. The slaves were less than 1% of population. Now, with that 1% of that population, they sure enough filled up some ships, didn't they? After the Reconquista period, Moorish slaves began to outnumber Slavic slaves. Listen to what they're doing. The people whom the Moors defeated, they started to outnumber them as slaves. So who started to do the whoop-de-doop and flippity-roo? Do y'all remember when Joe Biden was passing bills and people started coming in and oppressing Negroes? Ain't them the same people? Spanish? Something to think about. Slavic slaves in both importance and numbers in Portugal. Age of discovery. Black slaves, like I said. African slaves, black Moors slaves, prior to 1441, were predominantly, look at the different ones now. Now they're going to split them up. Berbers, which means evil people, wicked people. Arabs means a mixture of tribes from the North African evil people coast. That's what Berber means. Evil people. Evil people coast, known as Moors, to the Iberians. They were typically enslaved during wars and conquests between Christian and Islamic kingdoms. So why was they calling Moors Islamic and then turned around and said that they were being enslaved by Christians in Islamic kingdoms? Think about that, Mashpaka. The first expeditions, now look at what they put in Sub-Sahara African. Now let's rewind that back. The Moors was from Northeast Africa. Now in today they say they was of Sub-Saharan Africa, were sent out by Prince Infantry. Now they changing. They done switched it up here, there, the other way. Infantry D. Henrique, known commonly today as Henry the Navigator. When did this happen? 1441. Now we done all the way. Now think about it from the countdown. These are prisoners of wars. All right? Prisoners of war, whom was taking down European rule over other Moors. So why was they fighting and saving other Moors? Why was these people fighting and saving other Moors? Why was these people able to know that they were Berbers and Arabs and Moors? Why was these Moors taking down people who were oppressing other Moors? And so you see the difference between the Spanish, the ruling class, and the Moors. Think about that. The expedition sent by Henry came back with African slaves. Now they came back with African slaves. So now the Moors went to Africa. They renamed them Sub-Saharan African. Was sent out by Prince Infantry D. Henrique, known commonly today as Henry the Navigator, with the intent to probe how far the kingdoms of the Moors, this is who they was looking for, to probe how far the kingdoms of the Moors, the families, the kingdoms of the Moors, and their power reach, the kingdoms of the Negroes, and how far their power, their authority reached. They were all royal. The expedition sent by Henry came back with African slaves as a way to compensate for the expense of their voyages. So they got them some African people as a way to compensate for the expense of their voyages. Who did they buy? The enslavement of Africans, now they changing the names, was seen as a military campaign because the people that the Portuguese encountered were identified as blacks, as Negroes, and thus associated with Islam. The royal, because they submitted to Allah. Remember the name? Allahayim, Yahabashai. The royal chronicler Gomez Enes de Zurara was never decided on the Moorishness of the slaves brought back from Africa. Was never decided on the Moorishness of the slaves brought. Remember, that's who they came down there looking for, the conquest for the Moors. Of the slaves brought back from Africa due to a seeming lack of contact with Islam. Slavery in Portugal and the number of slaves, so they wasn't the people catching folk and enslaving innocent people. Number of slaves expanded after the Portuguese began an exploration of sub-Saharan Africa, looking for Moors because they knew who the Moors was. That right, sister. Slave raised and so they knew who the Moors was. They knew how they looked. They knew how they dressed. The Moors knew who they were at that time. So they can't say that the people that they was looking for didn't know who they was. All right. They can't say that they didn't know who the people was and the people didn't know who they was, because they was well acquainted with them. Remember, Portugal and Spain was a part of the Romans, so they knew who these people was that they spent all them centuries down there messing with. They was there. The Romans was there when Hamashiach was on the earth. They been around these Moors all these years in Northeast Africa. They knew who the Moors was. All right. Slave raised, and so they say that during biblical times, notice that they weren't saying blacks and whites and this and that and the other, unless you had leprosy or something. Slave raised in sub-Sahara Africa began in 1430s looking for the Moors. And they found them. They found the Moors that fled. Because remember, they was enslaving Moors. And in the 1440s as war campaigns. But this period was short-lived. As war campaigns, but this period was short-lived. Excuse me. The Portuguese quickly transitioned into a trade network. So listen, the ruling class was taken back over again. The oppressing class was taken back over again. The Portuguese quickly transitioned into a trade network with African nobility and slavers. So remember, the Moors were the one being enslaved. The ones that was fighting against the colonial rule. So they were prisoners of war. That's why when you were brought to America, for centuries, you were not even given the right to own a firearm, to even hold one. That's why in World War, what they call one, Negroes, they didn't want us to have no firearm. But we fought in every war. The Portuguese, now how did these Negroes know how to fight that don't know how to do nothing? How did they know how to build that don't know how to build nothing? So these Moors built palaces. These Negroes built palaces. Who were these people? The Portuguese quickly, they from northeast Africa. Who are these people, Hoppo? The Portuguese quickly transitioned into a trade network with African nobility. So ask yourself this. Was it the Moors participating and hitting their own self side the head like they were slow? Because they showed that they had strength and they had smarts. The Portuguese quickly transitioned, so somebody turned on them, into a trade network. You know, the slave caste got back up again with African nobility, with people that sided with them in their situation, and slavers. So it was tribes that was coming together to enslave Moors. That different rulers and stuff came up. And then right now, look at these names of these people here. Prince Infante D. Henry Q began selling Moors. Now we know who they was. Negroes from northeast Africa. Those are the people that they came looking for a conquest. In Lagos in 1444. During that time, I believe that thing was called Biafra, or that area was called, all those was called Biafra. In 1444. And in 1555, Pope Nicholas V gave Portugal the rights to continue the slave trade in West Africa. So now he said, okay, now they got the right to continue the slave trade in West Africa under the provision that they convert all people who they call Muslims who are enslaved, because they said that these people was evil in the mind. Think about it. I read to you something the other day to show you that this is what they thought of people who did not believe in the Roman Catholic Church. The Portuguese soon expanded their trade along that they converted all people who are enslaved. So they wanted to convert all people from what they called Islam, or what they call Islamic phobia, whatever, like they do now today. Portuguese soon expanded their trade. So is a Muslim mean he who submits. So they was trying to convert all Muslims to their faith. They gave them that Cesare Borgia thing and all that. All right. So let me stop sharing that. Please remember where we left off. We left off on page 2 of 24. And if y'all willing, we'll come and we'll read some more. So remember, Mashbakar, I don't know if nobody else gonna do a class where they going through these things. But remember, if you want to come here, we can do this here today. We could do this here. All right, now this is what they did. Now, let me stop sharing the screen. And let me open up a Bible verse for you. Who is these people right here? Jeremiah. And in the Bible, we called our Elohim Allah and Elohim. Even in the Bible. Is they trying to convert Jeremiah? Because he wrote Allah and Elohim. Is they trying to convert Yahweh? Because he prayed to Elohim. Is they trying to convert the Apostle Shawwal? Because he worshipped Yahweh by Yahweh in Yahweh. The sin of Yiqwaba is written with a pen of iron and with the point of a diamond. Their sin is not wanting to be free. That's not their sin. Their sin is not rejecting Cesare Borgia. That's not their sin. What is their sin? It is a graven upon the table of their heart and upon the horns of their altars. While as their children remember the altars, so while as their children remember the offspring, remember their altars and their groves. We got to come back to the memory. By the green trees, remember the other day we read it, that Yahweh say that he kicked that woman out of the land that was acting like Sodom, Idama, wa Amara. O my mountain, in the field I will give thy substance and all thy treasures to the spoil. Hear this. And thy high places for Ra, for evil, for sin, throughout all thy borders. Throughout all thy borders, they came looking for all of the Negroes from Northeast Africa. Oh my, oh, listen at Alahayim. Oh my mountain, whom Jeremiah was called Alahayim and Allah. Oh my mountain, in the field I will give thy substance and all thy treasures to the spoil, and thy high places for sin throughout all thy borders. And thou, even thyself, shall discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee. I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not. For ye have kindled a fire in mine anger, which shall burn forever. Thus saith Yahweh, cursed be the man that trusteth in a man, in Adam, and maketh flesh his arm, whose heart departed from Yahweh. Whose mind departeth from Yahweh. For he shall be likened the heath in the desert in the Sahara. You know they call it sub-Sahara, in the Sahara. And shall not see when Tawab cometh, but shall inhabit the parched places in the wilderness, in a salt land not inhabited. Barak is the Adam that trusts in Yahweh, and whose hope is Yahweh, whose hope Yahweh is. For he shall be a tree planted by the waters. He will restore you, your roots. This is how you get your roots back. For he shall be as a tree planted by the waters. A tree has roots. And if it's planted by the water, it has a lot of food. The water is the word. And that spreadeth out her roots. You know, the roots of your tree, of your family tree, by the river. He shall not see when heat cometh, but her leaf shall be green. That means your leaf will be restored. You will not be withered away as a nation, but your root and your leaf of your tree will be green again. He will bring life back into you. You will know who you are because your roots will return. Because you will know your roots when you know your Alahayim, and shall not be careful in the fear of drought, neither shall cease from yielding fruit. The heart is deceitful, and yes, it is. It's hard for us even to find out who we is a lot of times. The mind is deceitful. That's what heart is. Labab. The mind is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who can know it? So if you cannot know your mind in being in wickedness, then you need to be forgiven for wickedness, so that your heart, so that your mind will be able to grab hold to the roots. Anya Yahweh search halabab. Anya Yahweh, I Yahweh search the mind. Try the rings, even to give every Adam according to his ways and according to the fruit of his doing. That's enough of that, right? Now, is there anybody that want to speak on this? Is there anybody that got any closing arguments or anything? Is there any confusion? Any questions? I'm not going to drop the link today, Mashbaka, but if you have any questions that you would like to share with this, please do so inside of the chat. And the next time we go live, we could go live and y'all could come up and answer any questions that y'all have. Okay, sister. Sister said no. So everything that I read is understood. Tawada, sister. Okay, that's 1, 2. It's 6 people in the room. 1, 2, 3. 3 people said they understand. And Val baby in the back, I know she understand. And if she don't, I'm going to teach her when she come to the house. Okay, Chicky History Channel said that she understand. Sister Naomi said she understand. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. I did want to ask, these were the sons of the Wad? Well, sister, the Wad seed went too, but they destroyed us from the root. You understand? So they took us, they took all of the tribe was royal. Remember what Yahweh Shai said. He said that he sought to rule over Yasharal, and we were to be unto him as kings and priests. When we accept our call in the book of Hebrews, in the book of Abar, he speak those things past, present, and future. Now, some people believe that we ain't no kings and we ain't no priests. But I believe in what the scriptures say. He has made us kings and priests through his son. We are under him. But if we don't know who we are, we don't understand that Yahweh wanted all of us. All of us came from Abraham. All of us was of value. We are children of the king. We know we are children of our Alahayim, who was the ruler of everything on this earth. That's why he say, Ban Alahayim. We are the sons. We are the children of Alahayim. So if I say Ban Alahayim, or we could just say we are the Al of Alahayim. We're the people of Alahayim. All right? So we are his blood kindred. Our Messiah came and died for us. The people. So every tribe is royal. But there are some who are Sodom and Gomorrah because they reject the truth. And there are some who are set aside as the remnant because they receive the way, the truth, and the life. So, yes, the wise descendants went into captivity. And yes, every other last one of those Moors, those so-called Negroes and so-called Moors, went into captivity. And the prophet told you who it was. All right? They took the northern kingdom first, who were royal, but if they reject Hamashiach, they're in a position where they're not taking the rule. That's right. So they took the northern tribe first. And people like to say, we don't know if the northern tribe. No, the northern tribe went first. They beyond the rivers of Cush. And then they took the southern kingdom. All right, they took the southern kingdom. They said the kingdom of Waida, so Judah, that they wanted Judah. All right. Now, some people say they don't know. I don't, like I say, I could be a Lewi, I could be Banyaya Mayan, or I could be Yahabadah. But the southern kingdom is Yahabadah. So with that, I will have to go in and study more. I'm not closed-minded. I go in and study more to see the specifics of it. And that's why we're going through this process, so that we can study, so that we can know. And whatever y'all is willing to reveal, that's what we will know. So don't worry about it. We ain't going to just say we're going to understand it better by and by. We just going to seek for y'all. And whatever he allow, he allow. Whatever is sealed, is sealed. And then one day it'll be revealed. But that don't mean that we shouldn't search for it, because we are a nation of kings and priests. If we return to Yahweh, if he make you a priest, would he not make you a king or a royal again? He'll make you royalty again. So we are a nation. And some people say, well, that exclude our sisters. But that's not what the scriptures say. That's not what it say. Because when you look at it, he want the daughters of Yasharal to repent and the sons of Yasharal to repent. And we are not to rule over one another. That's what Yahweh did not want. He didn't want us to rule over one another. He wanted us to rule with him. We are not called to rule and reign over one another. We're called to rule together in Yahweh Shai. Now we need to understand, what does all this mean? Because we got to judge the Malak. We got to judge the Malak, the messengers. We got to judge. We're going to judge angels. That's right, Sister Positive Reinforcement. And K. Judah lay it out all the time. Yahweh didn't want us to rule over one another. That was something that we wanted to do. That's something that our ancestors wanted, and some of us still want that. But Yahweh say he want to rule over us himself. All right, Mashpakah, I'm about to get out of here. But I thank you for coming and showing up. The other day, I was kind of trippy in my speech. I get like that sometimes. And I hope that today my voice came out better. I'm stuttering less. So I just want y'all to keep me and pray with me, and I'm going to pray with y'all. I'm going to pray with y'all. I don't pray. My pastor always said to me, don't say I'm going to pray for you. Say I'm going to pray with you. So I'm going to pray with y'all. Y'all pray with me. Shalom Mashpakah. Amen. And thank y'all for coming. Until next time, if Yahweh willing. If y'all need to reach out to us, I left all of the information on the tab, on my community tab, about information. And if I haven't put up your channel yet, under the channels, please write me in that email and I'll put it down for you. All right, and sister, I'm looking into some of the stuff that y'all got in the stores, and if y'all willing, I can get my wife sometime when she ain't busy, and we gonna try to look into some of that stuff if y'all willing. But I gotta talk to her first. But she been real busy lately, and her mind been real preoccupied. So don't feel like my wife wouldn't, because she like to buy stuff all the time. But shalom, and y'all keep y'all head up and keep scribing for the kingdom. Barakathon, sisters, and Barakathon, brothers, wherever y'all at, and shalom.